I want to you can tell me how it come out. I did get a new camera here. All right. Anyway, uh, something about me. Okay, let me talk about it. I wrote that out on a little scroll thing I did. All right. All right. Now, what's an American? Think about that. I consider myself a good American. All right. Now, I was raised in the 50s, late 40s and 50s. All right. And then I joined the Army. But anyway, I was raised to respect everybody. Respect my elders, respect the police, respect the teachers, those in authority over me. That's who I respect. And I've remained that way, and I still will always remain that way, even though I'm getting close to 81 now. All right, but you see, the laws in this country, the federal law is number one. That takes precedence over everything. The United States Constitution takes precedence over everyone. That includes Congress and Senate. The Constitution controls them, right? So their law is number one. Then you go to state, and then you go to locals. You go to county and all the way down, right? But your state laws are secondary to the federal law. Now, you don't break those laws. A good American citizen will obey the law. That's where I was raised. That's where my brothers and sisters were raised. And with none of us in jail, none of us in jail, we're all doing good. All right. Now, I went to work. I quit school at 14 years old. I went to work full time. I worked for 3 years. Joined the Army 3 days after I turned 17, and I served 20 years. 2 years in Vietnam, 9 years in Germany during the Cold War, 2 years in Thailand, and the rest in the States. I'd seen the whole world, so then I wanted to see the United States, so I drove trucks for J.B. Hunt Transport all over the United States. Damn dispatcher had that wrong. I rode the northern states in the wintertime, the southern states in the summertime. I told him he had it ass backwards. But anyway, so here we go. And then I became a correctional peace officer, maximum security prison in California. And I had some terrible inmates in there. But see, that academy, you learn the law. You learn the state of California's law. You learn the federal law. You had to know all that. You had the right to arrest and to investigate. It was a wonderful academy. And then I came here and I drove school bus. Now, I'd had none of those jobs if I'd ever spent time in jail. Now, did I do wrong in my life? Oh, good God, yes, I did some freaking terrible things in my life. I'll not go into that. There's no record of it. It was a long time ago. That was before I quit drinking. I did some evil, terrible things. I quit drinking, and it all stopped. Why? Because, well, you have to go into something else. But anyway, I stopped. I've turned honest. I did that in the Army as a supply sergeant. They said, "You can't do that." Yeah, I can. And anyway, I had fun in my life. Obama got elected. Now, I disagreed with Obama. I disagreed with him getting elected. And I said, keep quiet, don't say it. Okay. Believe it or not, I did very seldom said a word, if anything, against Obama when he was the president of the United States. Why? Because you have to respect the president of the United States. The leader of this country is in charge, and you should respect the officer. You may not like him, but you have to respect the office if you're an American citizen. If you can't, you don't belong here. Don't let the door hit you in the ass when you leave. I never said a word. He got out, and then, oh yeah, I had fun. Because he's a flake. Yeah, he was. He and his trans wife. It's ridiculous. Anyway, and Biden just about destroyed this country. Y'all don't remember it, but if back in 2024, I was online. I was ready for war. Did you know that I was ready to go to Washington, D.C., and I had a bunch of veterans going to meet up there? If they had not allowed Donald Trump to be sworn in as president of the United States, there would have been a war. And I'd have been right in the middle of it. Now, Biden was a disaster. He was never the president. He's never the president. People use his auto signature to sign everything, and they brief him for 3 hours to talk 5 minutes. And he never gave a talk. He never gave any. And walk out in the middle of meetings. He didn't care. All right, and he didn't know what he was doing. But with Donald Trump, now he's doing he's doing good. I've got absolutely nothing against what he's doing. You see, we were invaded by millions and millions of illegal aliens. Now, those people came across the border. They were unvetted. They didn't know who they were, didn't care. We had murderers, rapists, terrorists, all across the border. They're catching them now, but you understand they're here, and that's what they're after. And then they're going to pick up all the rest of the illegals, and they're all going to be gone. That's the ultimate goal. Get them out of here. Leave the country alone. That's the way it should be. But everyone wants to complain. All right, now, if you get in those demonstrations, now, okay, you got the right to peacefully assemble. That's what it says. Peacefully assemble in the Constitution, First Amendment. Which, well, okay, peacefully demonstrate. Stand on the side of the road and hold those signs, you know. And good. That's your peace. That's your protest. When you start stepping in the road, you start stepping in front of them, you start throwing rocks or carrying weapons. Somebody's going to hurt. Somebody's going to die. It's going to happen. And it has happened, and it will happen more until people wake up. Now, I'm an American citizen. I respect all law enforcement. Federal law and federal law enforcement officers are way above any state. All right? They take first place. And that's the way it should be. Now, you can say what you want, but that's the law. You break the law. Okay, if you go and demonstrate and you step in front of an officer and you get in his face and start screaming, you've seen the videos. Or you step and stand in their way, just stand in their way. You're subject to 3 years in prison. And I wish they'd lock every one of you up. 3 years in prison. Why? Violation of the federal law. 18 U.S. Code 111 violation. 3 years in prison minimum. You go starting throwing things at them, carrying guns, you're going to 10 years or more, and the more means death too if it comes to that. Now, you got to make your mind up what you want to do, because if you if you go to jail like that, you can't vote anymore. You don't have a say in the U.S. government. You never will. You lost your right to vote. And that wouldn't be a bad thing for some of these idiots out there demonstrating. But that's it. You have to think before you act. Be an American citizen. And for you media idiots out there, and the so-called media on these videos, they got video, they media, that bullshit. They're no more media than the squat. You should be held responsible. They did it in World War II, the end of it. Yeah. They had the Nuremberg trials. You know what those media people from Germany, you know what happened to them? They hung them for what they did to the American people and what you idiots are doing to the American people right now. Every lie you tell, and you lie so much, some of you I just see and just, I mean, gee, God, come on. The mainstream media, those people belong being hung for what they're doing to you. Now, I got my words out. Have fun. Bye.